Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Serious Strategy Game and welcome to the second season of Taskmaster's Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So, happily enough, I can announce that I did win Season 1 and that was great. It was just 1 point difference to Spartan Elite 43. So, very excited coming into the second season here, whether we can defend our title or whether it's going to be snatched away from us. So, this is going to be week 1, the July season, second season of Taskmaster. Let's see what we've got in hand for the task today. It's going to be a super interesting one and I'm really going to enjoy this because we're going to go up as the United States against the German Empire. The Germans are going to have one of each ship. We can pick which ship we have, and here's the twist: whatever ship we pick will influence the technology here of the German Empire. If we're going to go for a battleship, it's going to start in 1935. If we were to pick a battle cruiser, it would be 1929, I think, and so on and so forth. So basically, the smaller our ship, the more of a technological advantage we have. So that's going to be the first choice that we have. Do we pick a battleship, battle cruiser, heavy cruiser, and so on? Now, before we go into that, let's go into the scoring system. If we win, we're going to get a point. If we win without damage to our engine or steering, we're going to get a point. If we win within 20 minutes, we're going to get a point. And lastly, we can score 2 points if we win without being hit ourselves. And that's super interesting because here's one thing that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to build a torpedo cruiser in line with the Japanese Army. Oh, I don't know the ship class. Basically, the Japanese Army or Japanese Navy did have a light cruiser with a long-range torpedo that would be able to score hits against a lot of these ships. Now, the problem with that in-game is the further the technological year, the easier it is to spot torpedoes. If you can't spot torpedoes, it's easier to avoid them. So basically, it's very difficult to have that long-range engagement unless you have a significant technological advantage. And that is exactly what is going to happen here. According to our table, light cruiser is associated with 1907, which is great. We could also pick a destroyer, which would go down to 1900, basically. Or a heavy cruiser, which would go down to 1918. But I think 1907 is the perfect year here. Because at that year, they're not going to have radar, so they cannot spot us at great distance. We are going to have radar at 1940s. In 1907, I don't think they have any form of sonar or detection device against torpedoes. So we might have a good chance here of being able to score hits at a great range without being fired upon ourselves. And that would bring us very close to scoring 2 points. So, let's try to do that. I think one of the things that we cannot do is win in 20 minutes, but we'll see. So, I'm going to get with a light cruiser here. I think a distance, we can pick that of 14,000 meters is perfectly fine. So, let's go ahead and do this. So, here we go. This is our model light cruiser. We don't have a lot of build restrictions here, so I'm going to do the natural thing and go for very short range and maximum displacement. We can definitely go for, I guess, oil and diesel engines. Diesel does make it a lot less likely that we're going to be suffering from engine damage, so I think diesel is an excellent choice here. Not sure we actually want to pick any of these things. I do think we want to go for crop 4 because that will save some weight. But other than that, I'm not sure we want any of these. So what we're going to do here then is we're going to pick some secondary things here. Actually, are you smaller than that? I don't think you're all significantly smaller, at least. Maybe a little bit. So that's sort of right here in between these two boats. And that is... it seems slightly smaller. Base accuracy is not that different, so I think that's okay. Main towers, by the way, was there a significant difference here? I think it is. I think it is a fairly significant difference in terms of size. And I'm guessing size is going to be important because we want to build a torpedo boss, basically, that handles that. So let's add a funnel here and let's basically look at the engine efficiency. Looks fine for now, 94%. That's perfectly reasonable. We do need some guns, and we are going to fight a couple of light cruisers, so and destroyers. So I think 6-inch guns are going to be fine. We can certainly think about some secondary guns here. There's a position here and here. Let's see whether we're going to keep that position or whether we're going to end up with the funnel there. But I think this is okay. So that basically gives us quite a bit of forward offset. Let's try to place you a little bit further to the rear then. Can we place you further to the rear? We can. Okay, forward offset is better now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add torpedoes. Let's just put one on here. And the big thing is I want to use oxygen torpedoes. Now there are different variants here. Standard is fine. Fast is great. It does give you better speed, but the detection range goes up by quite a lot. So it actually means that the enemy would be much more easy, would have an easier time to detect them, avoid them. So what you need to do is come in close. These are close-in weapons. We don't want to get in close. We don't want to be hit at all. So what we could also do is electric torpedoes. Now the thing is, I think that would reduce the range by too much. It would also reduce speed by quite a bit. So I don't necessarily like that. Speed is fundamental in being able to hit the enemy. Otherwise, the time to target is going to increase, and that means the enemy can maneuver around more. There's a greater chance that they'll have a random course correction, and your shots will just be off target. On the other hand, oxygen torpedoes. Now these guys would increase costs. That's not much of an issue. They do increase range, which is great. But they also reduce the detection range. I think that's great. So we're going to go with these oxygen torpedoes. The other thing that we do need is radar. I think we need at least radar 1, but okay, that's just 80 tons. We're going to add radar 2, and that is going to give us some good factor here. I do think we want to go for much larger caliber torpedo tubes because they are going to increase the damage. They're also going to increase the load time and everything, and the detection range, but I think it's okay. Also the speed, I do like that. Rotation speed shouldn't be that important. We're going to go for high power TT here because it does save some weight, and that's fine. Okay, so we've got about 3,000 tons, no, 4,000 tons that we can add here in terms of torpedo tubes. I do think it's generally somewhat efficient to pick torpedo 3 tubes. They seem to have the best weight to power ratio. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, you seem to be badly placed over there. Okay, that's alright then. Not sure why that wasn't the case earlier, but okay, I guess that's fine. We do need to pick increased ammo loadout here though, I think. Right, so that's a good set of torpedo tubes there. Now, I would like to be able to shoot into not just a broadside, but also sort of shoot in different directions to maybe take out some enemies as we are going against them. So I like the idea of this quadruple torpedo tube. Different load times might mean we can sometimes, you know, squeeze in just a couple of further shots, which I think would be an excellent thing to do for us. Now probably I do want triple torpedo tubes here to the rear though, because we sometimes might be firing off to the rear. But I'm guessing that having these guys here just being able to launch 4 torpedoes to either side every now and then might be a very good idea. And we've got a terrible port weight offset. Why is that? Seriously, why is that? Are you a little bit off center here? Yeah, you seem to be. Okay, fine. Good. We still have quite a bit of armor left here. Other things left here. Now we've got these quadruple torpedo tubes. I'm guessing we can place a couple of more 3 torpedo tubes here to this side. Forward offset is looking horrible at this point. We might instead want to use double torpedo tubes here in the front. Maybe more like that. It should work. We can place one more here and here. It doesn't really, it cannot fire anywhere. But it does add a little bit in terms of the loadouts here, so I think that's going to be alright. Yeah, let's do some other things here. We don't need radar. I don't think we need acoustics. We could go for long-range accuracy, especially useful against the destroyer. Do we want to do some things like citadels here? I don't think we need that, is the funny thing. Okay, okay, that's alright. We could do with a little bit more bulkheads, I guess. I would want some of these things here. They are generally useful, especially like the auxiliary engines. And the shafts. Engine weight. It's not much of a difference here, is it? Yeah, I think the shafts are great because being able to accelerate a little bit better is just a good idea. I also think we want to go auto here. That is, all of that is adding a lot of weight, which we should reduce, but maybe heavy guns. I think that's a good idea. Not going to change any of these things, and that does mean we need to get a little bit lower here in terms of, I think, deck armor. We don't need that much. Yeah, still about 300 tons overweight. What have we got? So the hull, the bulkheads. We do have standard bulkheads, yeah. We could go a little bit lower there. I don't think I necessarily want to reduce everything here. Thick funnel. Well, I guess what we could do is we could simply drop in speed here a little bit. Engine efficiency goes... How much is the other funnel here? Also, we can place that to the rear. Reduce our forward offset. 78. Now if we go to 30.5, or actually to 30, 90%. I dislike 90%. That seems. On the other hand, we are driving at a very long distance, so that might actually be fine. Yeah, I think it's gonna be alright. Anti-flooding one, maybe. Yeah, that does fit. 4 tons that we have left here. That's not a lot. I don't think we need that. We could go. Yeah, let's simply add a little bit of armor here. I think that's fine. Good. The forward offset, that is a big issue. We can potentially pull you in a little bit, I guess. Yeah. You know what? We can actually pull you back in a little bit more so that you really only have the forward-facing arc here, which I think I'm going to appreciate because it's going to allow us to use that a little bit separately to everything else, and that does reduce the forward weight offset here. You guys can't fly anywhere, but that's fine. You're more of a increased loadout. So yeah, look at that. It's a torpedo bus. It's absolutely at 100% a torpedo bus, and I love it. Right, let's hit it. We want to try out how that works. Remember, we don't want to be hit at all if possible. That would give us 2 points, and actually by default another 3rd point for not receiving any damage to the engine or the steering. So that would be great. On the other hand, 20 minutes, I'm not sure we're going to be able to achieve that, but let's see. So what have we got here? A battleship with at least 4 turrets, a battle cruiser with at least 4 turrets, heavy cruiser, much smaller. I do like the fact that these guys are kind of large. And then the light cruiser, and stop. So we are starting at 14,000 meters. The question is, have they seen us already? Well, I don't see their guns training on anything, so they should probably start. No, I don't think that they are. So, right, what have they got here? Oh, that's a potpourri of different calibers. That's 4. So that's 8 12-inch guns and a couple of. Yeah, that's basically it. Except for that weird little secondary gun there. You are the battle cruiser. Let's take a look at the battleship. Oh, yeah, that looks almost like the German hexagonal layout with the weird wing turrets. The Germans really did have a preference for wing turrets. I think originally it was because they didn't have turbine engines, but they still had to rely on triple expansion engines for their Dreadnoughts. Which did mean that they were a little bit more bulky and a little bit had more like width, and therefore it was more sensible to go for the original hexagon layout, even if it was horribly inefficient. You've got 10 and 11-inch guns. So curiously enough, the battle cruiser did have larger guns than the battleship, but you've got more of them. We've got the heavy cruiser. You've got, yeah, you have very old design. Look at these secondaries here in that kind of gallery here on the side. And then 2 9-inch guns. Light cruiser, you don't look like you have a lot of torpedo tubes, unless they're underwater, which I don't know. And then the smallest one, you definitely do have a couple of torpedo tubes, but hopefully we're not going to be engaged with you. Right, we're currently steaming at the enemy here. We've already fired a shell. These guys are steaming to the left, but I'm not sure that they're continuing to do that. They're probably, if they haven't seen us yet, they're going to try to close the distance here with us. So I'm gonna turn off because I'm expecting them to make some course changes here immediately, and if we were to fire our torpedoes now, they would be going to an intercept course like somewhere over here. And if these guys are turning in, which I think they are, yeah, they definitely are, that would not be a good firing solution. So we need to wait for them to come a little bit more into... You're firing at the light cruiser here. You know what, that's fine, but do use high explosive shells. Right, so yeah, we do need to wait for them to come a little bit... Look at that! These bastards have already fired here for torpedo tubes, and you can see they're going well off to the side here. That was just in the couple of seconds that we ran to keep an eye on these guys. Ah, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Okay, you guys are running this way, actually. Well, that's interesting. Right, I think we can go a little bit faster here. I don't think they've seen us yet, so that's good. You are aiming here at least on the battle cruiser, which is fine, but I think I would prefer your torpedo tubes to be aimed at the battleship. You guys are still turning, though. I can see you are. Yeah. You can see it's drifting here a little bit to the left if we... Yeah, it's definitely still turning. I do not want to be seen, though, because if we are seen, that means we can be targeted, and I dislike that idea a lot. Question is, are you still turning, and are you turning significantly enough for this to be a problem? We did score a hit here, but you know what? I think this ship here is actually kind of alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch against this ship here in the hope of actually hitting the battleship. So that would be kind of fun. We have obviously launched a salvo here. Just a couple of them, not really many. Okay, there we go. That's more. Right, that's great. Let's try to run continuously away from them and see what these guys are going to do. And yeah, you can see our first spread here is going hopelessly off target. Really, really badly. Let's see whether we can launch some torpedoes at this guy as well. I don't think we will be able to, but maybe. Maybe if we turn a little bit here to the right, to starboard, we can find a couple of torpedo tubes on this side that haven't launched yet. And the earlier we can take out at least some of them, the better it would be. Come on. Come on. There we go. That's great. That's what I wanted to see. Doesn't need to be a lot, just a couple of them to make life a little bit more difficult for them. And you can see the first couple of torpedoes are coming in here, and this is going to be interesting because I don't know whether he can spot them or whether they are... Yes, he can. That's unfortunate. These torpedoes were of course targeted at the battleship, but he has spotted them now, so that means he can probably run away from them. You've spotted a lot of them. Let's see whether any of these guys here are going to have any effect. That battleship is already turning away. That is not what I wanted to see. But maybe he's actually going to run into one of them. Doesn't seem like it. I think this guy is going to pass in front of him. He's probably not that fast. But just maybe. Just, no, that could look actually promising. That actually looks promising. Oh, this is going to be tight. Yeah. Here we go. First hit, I think. Yes. Nice. That's good. And there's already engine damage on him, which is brilliant because the slower he is, the more likely he's A, going to be hit by any of these torpedoes, and B, he's going to be suffering from some other things. Now, here's some concerning things. You are very close to that battlecruiser at this moment. You are firing on that battlecruiser. I don't think you need to be, honestly. Right, also... Didn't we launch some torpedoes against you? Yeah, we did. They're not going to score a hit. What we might want to do is we can turn to the right here a little bit. To the left, actually, from the ship's perspective. Hoping that he's going to turn inwards. But I don't think he is. There's our second torpedo hit against this guy. And you can see he is already suffering pretty badly. So, good opening salvo here. But what I don't know is whether we're going to have enough torpedoes. I mean, you can see just how many we are wasting in that one salvo. And he's got steering issues too, that's great. He's a sitting duck at this point, but the battle cruiser isn't. And we saw that this guy has a lot of guns, so... Now what else do we actually know about you? You've detected some torpedoes at this point? Yeah, but they are gonna pass well behind you. That's unfortunate. You've got few bulkheads, that's good. So few hits would actually do, but you've got anti-torpedo too. Yeah. We are identifying you, so we should get some info here in a second. Well, wouldn't it be nice if you, my friend, were to run into that torpedo? No. Just ahead of him. That would have been brilliant. I would have liked to see that a lot. But yeah, we didn't. Right. What else can we do then? We haven't really reloaded yet, so I guess we can accelerate time here. See what is going to happen. The Odin. Maximum bulkheads. You did suffer some water ingress. You've repaired one of your engines. But it seems like your float is recovering somewhat. But yeah, you're going off to a different direction there for the moment. We need to wait until you've balanced out a little bit. You are uncomfortably close. And uncomfortably... going a little bit to the right here. I'm not sure why that is, but you are. Can we launch against you? Yeah, we can. It's just a couple of torpedoes, but just one hit might be all that we need. So let's see what we can get here. Accelerating time somewhat. Odin. Odin, my friend, how fast are you at this point? 4.4 knots. You are sitting duck, but you're very far away. Come on, where are our tops? There we are. You're going too far to the left here. We need to turn. We need to get him to turn a little bit to the right. No, he's changed course, and that is exactly why I don't like slow torpedoes. Oxygen torpedoes are actually fine doing that, but it wasn't a lot of wastage, but it was some. You've detected them. You're not too concerned about them, though. You are turning, though, aren't you? I think you are turning, because you've got a vague idea of where we are. But again, it's just that. It's a vague idea. But that does mean you are not incredibly likely to run into any of our torpedoes unless we do present you a very great salvo from a much shorter distance. You're actually turning away from us at this point. Now that's interesting. Are you trying to close in with the battleship again? Yeah, you might be. Okay, let's try to follow him a little bit. I'm not too sure what he's doing. We must find the right moment where he's going somewhat straight, which definitely is not this moment. Why is he turning like that? We shouldn't get too close. Why is he turning like that? Where do you want to go? You are sitting duck at this point too. 11 knots. Where do you want to go? Why did you do that weird circle? Maybe you were trying to avoid some torpedoes. Maybe you thought the torpedoes that we were sending your way were more dangerous than they really were. Are you trying to come towards us now again? We've got a long distance here, but you know what? If you are sort of behind the enemy battleship, if we've got both of you lined up in a nice course here, I think what we want to do is launch against you, hoping to maybe struck the battleship even if we do miss. But you're going to the right here again. You know what? We're actually going to target the battleship. I'm going to actually go for aggressive here. Going to wait until we've launched some stuff. Heh, we're out of range. Okay, let's come in towards him. There's the heavy cruiser, the Vidder. We've got some torpedoes, not that many. If you are going to continue to circle around like that, I do wanna torpedo you, but Battleship is the primary target here. We just might be able to launch against this guy and hit someone else. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Right, let's go a little bit to the left here. And I think now we are in range. So what we can do is, I don't want to use my forward-facing torpedo tubes, but I do want to use the ones sort of facing off to the side. Just turn that on for a second here, launch a lot of torpedoes, saturate the area, and hopefully gonna hit something in that vicinity. And then we're gonna try to run away again. So it's a very delicate balance, dance here. Grosser Kurfürst is now coming towards us, as is Widder. But you are turning a little bit to the right there, to the left actually. Not sure why he's always doing that. But yeah, at least hopefully we're going to target the Odin. Right, let's see. If you're going to turn to the right here and make a full turn into that way, we might actually going to be able to hit you by chance. I think the Widder here is also looking like it might be running into some of this area here. We're going to pass by the battlecruiser. There's no way he's going to catch up with these guys. How fast are our torpedoes actually? They are running nearly 50 knots, and you guys are running half of that. Oh, but look at this. Look at this. Yes! This might look good. Come on. Come on. Yes! Nice! 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 Good hit there. Only the Widder. Actually, the Widder has survived that, which is kind of funny. How fast are you guys? 90 knots. You're barely doing any speed there. And some of these guys might still be able to hit Odin, which would be fantastic now, wouldn't it? Now the big issue is, of course, our guns are not necessarily great against enemy ships. So let's see about that. Now I think I want to target the Widder here with our torpedo tubes if we can. And let's turn them on for a second here. We don't need to fire that many at him, but I think I would like to have at least some going his way. Where's the rest here that was passing towards the battleship? These guys run out of steam or oxygen. No, 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 no. There we are. Hit. Good. Okay. So 2 salvos in earnest. One smaller one too. But yeah, the Widder is now running. We'll need to come after you, I think, a little bit. Yeah, we could fire at you, but if you're also doing these kind of funny maneuvers here with the tight turns, it will be extremely difficult to find the right moment. We could launch exactly when he's pointing at us. That would sort of, in his turning circles, lead to a situation where he's very likely to be hit. He's very slow. He's an incredibly slow ship. He can't be that great at targeting, whereas our radar does allow him to come in like that. Oh, look at that. He's actually running sort of into, I mean, in between this salvo here. Ah, he's a lucky guy. Some of the other guys really weren't, but he is. Okay, you know what? I am going to launch a salvo here once he's turned in. We need to be a little bit careful because there we go. Off you go. Come on. Torpedo tubes. There we go. Off. That's a great salvo. It's at least a wide spread. So I'm hoping we've actually run out of some of our torpedo tubes already. Yes. And that's the quad. That's the forward-facing torpedo tubes. Actually, the ones that I really like the most. Let's try to run a little bit to the left here. I think that's where the emphasis of these shots are going to be. He might run into just exactly that. I think he is. He's charmed. No, no, he isn't. These guys are going to hit him. No! No! Did you see that? That was just meters. Oh man. Oh, that's disappointing. And he's down to 8 kilometers at this point. We need to be careful here. We do need to be careful. I mean, he's super slow, but man. Can we launch? There's another... Yeah, we can. Okay, at least a couple of them. Man, that was... He was so lucky. We also need to target that torpedo boat there. He's probably the destroyer. Yeah, he is. We don't have that many torps left. Only 42. We don't have that many capital ships left, too. We need to engage here, but... Jesus! How chaunt is he? No, he's hitting. Yeah, there we go. Great. That was tight though. Right, let's see what we can do against the destroyer here. What's your range? 6.5 kilometers. We can actually start to fire at you if we do stay out of your range, because we don't want to be hit by you. But I think that's going to be alright. You're much further away at this moment. I think there's also a light cruiser that's somewhere around here, presumably. Right, let's see. I know this is kind of a longer series, but I do like the dance that we're having here. We're down to 1 hour, so definitively we are not going to get the last point here. Which is what it is, but yeah. Right, can't accelerate further than 5 times though, which is slightly unfortunate. But yeah. How fast are you actually? Come on. Sometimes it doesn't sometimes like to extend that. That's slightly weird. Okay, there we go. 35 knots. You're actually faster than us. That's impressive, considering you are of a much lower technology. We don't have that many shells here. I should maybe have not used the reduced ammo layout. We are using high explosives, so that's fine. You haven't really spotted us. That's kind of interesting. I'm guessing we could actually, just for a second here. Let's save that maybe for the light cruiser. Okay, I guess we can go on a more parallel course now. Oh, we actually need to run away from you, I suppose. What's your range again? 6.5. You're going to spot us very soon. Well, at least you might fire on us already. We are firing on him. That's good. Let's go to normal here. Okay, you've spotted us. Let's do use smoke because I don't want to be hit. Oh, come on. Try to drive him off using some torps here. They're not going to hit anything, but they might at least incentivize him to go away. Should have used more secondaries. We knew the destroyer was danger. He's not firing, that's good. If he doesn't fire, he cannot hit us. And I suppose at this point he's also slower than us, isn't he? 15 knots. Yeah, these torpedoes are not going to hit anything, but again, they're mostly there to drive him off. Whew. Well, they actually might hit the light cruiser there. The Brummer? Yeah, the Brummer. With the destroyers, Germans don't really have that poetic names. They're just the V1. I wonder, is it always the V1 when you're playing it against it? I don't think so, but let's see. Yeah, our shells are kind of low. But okay, we just need to make sure that he's going down. He's always flooding a little bit, but he's always recovering from that too. Oh, steering damage. That's great, because that again means much higher chance of being able to actually score a hit there with our torps. But yeah, you can see he's recovering already. That's always so annoying when they do that. Yeah, he's recovered all damage at this point. Yeah, but there's again flooding. Not sure whether he's going to be able to survive that one, but hopefully at least. Damage repair, damage repair, damage repair. Come on, do give me another hit here. Come on, 3-inch guns should be firing now. Don't be spotted. We cannot allow to be spotted. But I do want my 3-inch guns to be in range. That's a very tight race there. So basically, we need to make sure that this here stays 0. Damage to the main tower, that's good. But look at that, our ammo is starting to run a little bit dry. You know what, we could actually drop down to cruise speed here. Make it a little bit more likely to hit him. We probably don't need to be too keen on providing a good broadside here, because this is probably going to be more about the actual damage here that we can inflict. Good, more flooding. Oh, he can't survive that. 7%, 5, 4, 3, 1. There he goes. Good, 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 good. Okay. All against the Brummer now. Let's keep on saving some ammo here. And I suppose we can go aggressive here for a second. Let's turn this off. We've got 21 torpedoes left. That's good. That's good. I like that. Right. Let's try to run away here. Hopefully he's going to run into one of these torps. So far everything is good. We certainly have not been hit in the engine nor in our steering. So that is a good thing for us. Nor did we receive any hit. So at this moment it stands that we would earn 4 points if we can sink this guy here without being hit again. But we still could lose everything, and that would not be great. What have you actually got in terms of guns? 5-inch guns. How many of them? 3 5-inch guns. Yeah, and look at that. That's always when you have... It's just annoying that RNG is not on our side here. I do want to keep a couple of torpedoes here in reserve, because otherwise we're going to be in a lot of trouble. We need to go this way, otherwise he's going to turn away too much. Do want him to run into that, not out of that. We are using our 3-inch guns on him, that's good, but it's really not going to be enough. Come on, can you run into... Ah! So close. Come on. Come on. Okay, maybe we can score some hits here that would destroy his steering or his engine. In which case, he would probably start to suffer a little bit. And that might make us more likely to hit him with anything else. He's using his 5-inch guns now, so we need to start emitting smoke. He has spotted us, not sure exactly when. We need to be a lot faster here too. How fast are you actually? 25 knots. You should not be able to... No! Damn it! No! No! No, no, no! We did receive an damage point here, guys, and that does mean... Had he not been able to avoid the torpedoes like that, we would be so on him at this point. Ah, okay, I suppose at this point it just doesn't matter that much. We just need to win at this point. Ah, that's so annoying. Just one hit here. So close. A single hit. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And he dodged torpedoes twice. Ah, guys, this is so unfortunate. Had I just been doing this a little bit better, a tiny bit better, we would have won. And again, just look at that. He managed to squeeze through there. That's just, his entire ship width is like that. How? How does he manage that? Okay, we actually need to be careful here because we don't have enough guns left. And he actually has torpedoes, so we need to be mindful not to be torpedoed ourselves here and end up at 0 points. That would be kind of awkward. Okay, but yeah, again, at this point we can just be hit as many times as we want. He's suffering engine damage here. If we can, please do launch with any torpedo launcher here. We don't have very good detection ourselves, so we must be careful here against his torpedo tubes. We are doing a lot of damage here with the 3-inch guns, so that's nice, but not necessarily enough. You know what? Let's do a quick turn around here and torpedo him from a very short distance with our torpedo tubes on the other side. I don't think he's going to be able to launch effectively against us here, but I certainly think that we are going to be able to do something against him. Right, so as our torpedo tubes on the other side should open up against him now-ish. There we go. 3 beautiful torpedoes in the water here as we're sort of doing the drive-by shooting. But man, oh man, that one single hit was so unlucky. Of course, at this point it's 14, but that's because we risked it after that one. Unfortunate, guys, but at least, you know, it's 2 points for us, so not the worst start, but certainly not the best either. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do look out at the other guys' videos, and hope to see you next week. Bye bye, guys.